Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Russ back again with some more Madden 19 Ultimate Team. It's episode number 55. In the previous episode, we did end up getting a win. It was a really good game against a dude that ran a lot of read option. And I mean a lot of read option. He killed me a decent bit with him, man, but we did end up pulling out the win. Ended up stopping him late, and it was a pretty damn good game. So if you guys want to go check that out, be sure to go do that. Getting into this game, though, this guy had Steve Young and Myles Garrett. That was actually one of the Team of the Year cards I really wanted out of the House Rules reward. Speaking of House Rules, man, they did drop a new event. It's actually about to end. I think today is the last day that it's going on. I think it ended this morning. I don't know, something like that. But basically, it's like you can't audible your offensive plays, so it's kind of interesting. So, I mean, if you guys played any of that, let me know how you did. I do have some videos of that coming up. I got to say, they're pretty sad. They're not technically losses, but just think of 6 wins in a row and maybe 4 or 5 wins, and then... just sadness. House Rules is annoying. But anyway, getting back into this game, Todd Gurley, that man is... What do I say at this point? I mean, I say that all the time, but seriously, how do I even commentate these runs? This motherfucker gets the craziest animations, the craziest broken tackles. Ricky Williams didn't get anything like that, and I think it's just Todd Gurley's ability to excel and break off these tackles and just take off immediately. That's what makes him so damn good, man. But that card is absolutely unmatched. This game, like I said, this is regular season, so this guy was able to, hot route whoever he wanted. This ain't the House Rules event. So, right now he's pretty much doing whatever he wants, or he starts doing whatever he wants. I had a little bit of trouble stopping this dude to start the game, but eventually I started to figure him out a bit. He really liked to roll out. I noticed that he, pretty much every play that, he would pass or something like that, he tried to get outside. So I do end up putting contains on, I think, at some point. But you guys will see, like right here, pocket breaks down, tries to roll out. Luckily, Frank Clark is able to stop him. But he tried to go to a lot of, quick curls, stuff like that. And then if all else fails, he would roll out. But, it was a lot of the same post stuff. And again, rolling out, waiting for something to get open. Luckily, nothing does, as Jamal Adams comes up with a pick, man. That card's insane. 94 speed. He breaks on the ball like no other safety I've fucking played with. Unbelievable. But first and 10, we do get the ball as Otto Graham gets sacked by Myles Jack. I don't know a lot of people using Myles Jack, man. I think he has like a 93 Thanksgiving card. I'm not sure if he's a power-up. I think he is, but I don't know. We get sacked. We end up hitting Jerry Rice for a decent completion. I think that was about 20 yards. I don't know, something like that. But that was a first down. 4 rushes for 69 yards. Obviously, that one really long touchdown run has helped Todd Gurley's stat line. But other than that, we've had a couple decent runs. 3rd and 6, though, rolling out, trying to get away from the pressure. We finally let it go, and Franco Harris finding that sideline awareness, and he ends up making that catch at the 17-yard line. Franco Harris is a pretty solid tight end, man. We haven't really hit him all that much using him there, but he's been pretty damn solid. Franco's been really good ever since we put him on the team. But right now, we're trying to run the ball a little bit. We end up running a very long action play that I should have cut short way sooner than that. We almost throw a pick. I tried to find Franco right there, but again, I should have cut that short and threw it a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, we don't, but we do take, our 3 points and make it a 2-score lead. This dude, we do have the contains on. Again, just trying to keep him from rolling out. The first drive, I could tell that was a tendency of his, and I'm just sick of people rolling out on me and finding players, like, down the field. Like, right here, again, he sees that lane to roll out, and he does, and then he just playmakers. He does end up finding his guy, but of course, that's where I get burnt the most. I think that's where a lot of people get burnt the most, just quarterbacks rolling out, and then, playmaking people. I've found that, like, really useful for me. Like, honestly, it's really hard not to do it, I've found. Like, I'm starting to do it a little bit with auto rolling out and playmaking some people. It works way too well, like unbelievably too well. And with contains being broken, those two things going hand in hand. Obviously this game has problems, man. It has some gameplay problems, but I'm enjoying it somewhat to an extent. But anyway, getting back into this game, we do end up stopping this guy on 4th and short. And this game just kind of gets out of the way for this dude. Like, he just really can't stop me, and I'm stopping him. He just can't really get anything going. He just seemed like he was out of sync, really, and we end up sneaking it in with Otto Graham, and sure enough, he ends up desyncing. Connection to your peer has been lost, or not desync. A desync would mean that the game wouldn't count for either of us, which would fucking suck. But we do end up getting the win for that game, and going into this one, we end up getting a pretty favorable matchup, man. This guy has 85 Peters, 85 Edelman, and 85 Elway, so obviously a very underpowered team. I was an all-pro 2nd string, I think, at this point, so... I mean, the way this guy played, I could tell that, he probably did win some games, but I'm not sure what type of matchmaking he's getting, because matchmaking in Madden 19 is pretty crazy. But I'm assuming that this dude maybe won some games at the lower tiers, and then once you get to pro and stuff like that, they start matching you up against the crazy teams. So I feel like this dude just got the short end of the matchmaking stick. But anyway, my team, this game does not last that long. My team was way overpowered for this guy. You guys can see he's getting pancaked. He can't tackle Todd Gurley. I'm just bouncing off everybody. I thought I was going to get tackled immediately. Somehow Todd Gurley ends up breaking that off and taking it all the way to the house. And just like that, we're up 6-0. So that was very, very quick. This guy ends up taking a timeout for whatever reason. I'm sure he was just a little bit pissed that he ends up giving that up, considering he didn't really play all, that bad a defense, for the team that he had. He just didn't really have anybody with speed. But that Todd Gurley that he had, it was not as good as mine. I mean, his 85 was really slow. He could not run the ball at all. Jamal Adams, I mean, pretty much every time this guy tried to throw to a receiver, part of their soul would be taken. Like, the hits were that fucking massive. Jamal Adams did not let anybody catch the ball. I mean, this dude did not have that many offensive plays. This right here, Sean Taylor ends up coming up with the pick. Wasn't even a user, just got hit as he threw, and it was just a measly throw over the middle, and he ends up taking it all the way to the house. I end up hurdling like the 2-yard line. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was just doing whatever because I felt like I could do whatever. I mean, the guy's team was just not... It was just not able to move the ball against me. I could tell that, just the overalls was just way too off. So, you know what? We end up getting the win in that one. Not sure what the matchmaking in that one was like, but, I do feel for that guy. I ended up getting a bunch of those games when my team was not as good. Obviously, now I have a pretty decent team to be able to, hang in there with pretty much anybody I play. But, before I had kind of a shitty team, man, and you can definitely tell when somebody's team is just way better than yours. And that was one of those games. Is right here, we end up getting a nice spin move and a decent return after the 35 to start the game. I don't end up having I don't end up having good returns very often. I don't usually return the ball all that much just because I'm scared of fumbling, and it happens way too often. This dude, Todd Gurley, man, he just bounces off everybody. This guy blitzed the hell out of me to start this game, man. Just didn't seem to matter, though, as Todd Gurley just ends up getting outside. Doesn't get anything as Deion Sanders pushes him out of bounds, but he could not really stop my run. As Aaron Donald, man, you know what? I was thinking about getting the, actually, you know what? Spoiler alert. I do end up getting the 93. Jesus, Todd Gurley. My goodness. This guy ends up getting in my way. I should have just ran to the end zone. There was no way he was going to tackle me. Instead, we get tackled at the 6-yard line. But I do end up picking up the 93 Steve Hutchinson, the Legend Gauntlet one, just because there wasn't very many players that I could pick, as Ricky Williams ends up cashing it in to put us up 7-0 early. But honestly, man, I feel like that 87 Aaron Donald plays better than the 93, actually 94 technically, because I do power him up, the 94 Steve Hutch. Like, it's weird. I don't know why. Like, I go by performance in the game, because there are those random cards that play way better than higher overall cards. I think I might just stick with Aaron Donald, man. I've watched him in these gameplays. He plays really well. If you guys need a solid left guard for under 50K, Aaron Donald might be the move. He's fast. He can pull. He's always down the field. It's crazy. But, I think I might just end up starting him over Hutch. I mean, I might pay a little bit more attention when I start editing games with Hutch, but I don't know. Let me know who I should keep, Hutch or Donald. Let me know if you use Donald yourself and if you still use him. But 1st and 10, obviously we're on offense. I end up going on a little spiel about a fucking guard. Who cares about a goddamn offensive lineman? But you know what? It doesn't really matter. This guy wasn't really able to do all that much, but he ends up getting a long 4th down conversion that does end up getting him into the end zone eventually. He actually had a couple good plays that he ran. I ran some bad defensive plays. I manned up too many people. He ends up going for 2 or trying to go for 2, but he saw I came out in a regular defense or something, and I don't know, just tried to get me off sides or something like that. But he ends up just taking the false start, and he does take his extra point to make it 7-7. So a little bit of drama for really no reason. It's right here. We have circle wide open, but instead I go to Kittle, and, he ends up getting a face mask or something after the play. I don't know what that was. You know what? I think why face mask looks so goddamn weird, because that doesn't look like a face mask. It just looks like the dude tackles him aggressively. I think that the NFL, they already took, like, the word concussion out of Madden. I bet they just don't want, like, animation of somebody pulling somebody's fucking head or pulling their face mask. I bet that's what it is, man, because that's kind of a neutered animation for a face mask, in my opinion. But anyway, we end up moving the ball down the field continuously. Just, this guy's really not able to stop us. We're kind of just, doing our thing, running our offense. He sends blitzes and stuff, but I'm usually not scared of blitzes. It's usually like the ones that people try to send off the edge that usually bug me. But usually I'm able to counter those, but just straight, rushes, I can usually stop, and that's what this guy ran. We end up getting into the end zone with Todd Gurley again, as we do end up firing back to make it 14-7, or answering back, I should say. So you know what? We go score for score on our first 2 drives. We end up countering back. Let's see if this dude can get something going and try to tie this game up, as he does find, I'm not sure who that is, actually, 13? Is that T.Y. Hilton? Not many people use T.Y. Hilton, man. But Dan Marino also, I didn't even mention that. This was the, I think the only game I have played where somebody has actually used Dan Marino. So, it was a little bit interesting to see how he threw, but of course he was a statue in the pocket. Is right here, tries to fire that dot on the crosser to the sideline, but Jamal Adams, being the beast that he is, ends up getting that pick. And we're quickly coming to the end of this episode, as our 3rd rage quit is a coming. 14-7. This dude cannot answer back on his second drive, so he ends up saying, you know what? I'm out. I'm done. That is 3 rage quits for the episode, man, and that will go ahead and do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Not very often do I end up, putting up 3 rage quits in a row. Usually it's at least one game in there that just drives me fucking crazy. But this was a nice little string of games where I was able to sit back and just kick ass. So, I mean, I'll definitely take it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man. Be sure to look out for next one. And as always, I'm out. Peace. And we're 5-0 on the season. I told you guys I go on a little bit of a run. I wasn't lying.